Are you taking the right probiotic? Did you know there are different types of probiotic? And do you know if your probiotic is hitting basically the 4 pillars of gut health? Okay, so let's start at the very top level. There are 4 pillars of gut health, right? There is microbial balance and diversity, which just means that your microbiome needs to have a wide variety of good things with a low amount of bad things to be healthy. Wide variety of good things, and they need to be managed appropriately. So an overgrowth of these type of beneficial bacteria is also what you call an imbalance. Okay, so the first pillar of gut health is you need to have a balanced microbiome with a wide diversity of beneficial stuff. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, you need a strong gut barrier. The opposite of this would be what everybody calls leaky gut. Okay, and number 3, you do not like inflammation. You need inflammation. Everybody needs inflammation, but like low-grade systemic inflammation constantly across the board causes all sorts of problems. I won't mention what those problems are, but I'm assuming you're aware that that's pretty much ground zero for all sorts of problems. And then 4, you need a healthy immune system. Your gut affects damn near 70-80% of your immune system. Unhealthy gut, unhealthy immune system, aka you get sick all the time. So, and by the way, and there's like a million symptoms of leaky gut, and dysbiosis just means an imbalance of the gut. So basically, you can take those 4 keys, and if you have a problem with any of those 4 things, you're gonna have anything from food intolerances to brain fog on the other side, okay? So you have 2 different approaches of probiotics to go after to help those things. The first type of probiotic is your standard lactobacillus and bifidobacterium probiotic. Historically speaking, these probiotics weren't available. It's not like our ancestors were like swallowing capsules full of bifidobacterium lactobacillus. And over the last 40 years, most of these type of probiotics didn't do jack shit, primarily because it didn't survive digestion. Now you have probiotic companies with quite a bit of science behind them, and they are taking those lactobacillus and bifidobacterium strains, and they're putting special coatings and capsules and around them and stuff, and they're making it so that they do get into the digestive system where they do flourish, which is great. Good for them. So these type of probiotics obviously offer benefits. The concept behind these is you're going to introduce a bunch of strains or plants, new plants to your garden. Your microbiome is like a garden, right? So by introducing tens of billions of CFUs of certain strains that have been clinically shown in high abundance to provide benefits that you will then, as the host of this garden, benefit. That's the concept behind it, right? And to be fair, there's a lot of clinical research behind it. So there you go, support. The second type doesn't come with science, it doesn't require science because it's how Mother Nature did it originally. Originally, all of our ancestors, when they were out and about in the woods and they were touching stuff and they weren't washing their hands 40 times a day, their hands were touching their mouth and they were getting these organisms in their mouth, bacteria and yeast and whatnot, that was getting into their system, and not all of it was bad. In fact, a lot of it was really, really good, and it got into the system and it naturally survived digestion, so it didn't die in the stomach environment. It actually knew what it was doing, got into the intestinal system where it thrived. In fact, that's what it was. It knew when it got into that environment, it would basically come alive, and it would manage, it would act as gardeners for the garden, right? So this is the second type of probiotic that's available. The second type of probiotic is what we went with when we built the ultimate probiotic. We went with the gut management probiotic strains. Once again, not to suggest the other type is bad, but when we looked at the 4 pillars of gut health, the first pillar, we didn't want a few strains in overabundance. We didn't want to have people needing to change up their probiotic all the time. So notice this only has 8 billion CFU because we aren't trying to overpopulate the gut with certain strains. We're trying to add strains into the gut that will manage the gut to find balance. So there's the first thing. The second pillar, nobody wants a leaky gut. Why? Because that causes all sorts of health issues. Reduces leaky gut biomarkers by 60% in 30 days, clinically proven, without any dietary changes. Now, I said that. I'm not saying you should just go eat shit and take a probiotic. That's not what I said, because I disagree with that. So if you're out popping, Coke all day and eating your Big Mac, that's not good, okay? I'm just saying that this is very effective at helping the gut barrier. By the way, that was only 3 of the strains. Espelardi's in there, and it also helps seal up the gut barrier really well. So then you got the 4th category. Does this help with inflammatory markers, inflammatory responses? And the answer is Yes, it does. Yes, clinically shown over and over and over again. Yes, there's over 50 clinical research studies on these type of strains for what they do, which is super good. Last, does it help with immune function? Yes, it totally does. So, and other benefits. So a lot of people are like, does it help with digestion? Yes. Is this going to help with food intolerances? Well, yeah, this is going to increase enzyme production. Because most people, and we sell enzymes, and I'm not bagging on enzymes, but in an ideal world, you're not taking something to increase your enzyme production. You just naturally have enzymes. Your body produces, your body should be producing enzymes, okay? And that includes, by the way, histamine intolerances are because of a deficiency in DAO enzymes, increases DAO enzymes, okay? So is it histamine friendly? Yes. Is it a good probiotic? Yes. Am I discounting reseeding probiotics? No. In fact, if you wanted to have a lot of fun, you would take this type of probiotic for a while, you get your gut health really good and clean, and then you would take this 3-4 times a week because it's going to colonize, it's going to offer benefits throughout the week. And then if you want to take a reseeding probiotic, knock your socks off. I hope this explains a little bit about probiotics and our approach. Once again, I'm not taking a shot at other probiotics. I'm just saying best damn gut gardening probiotic you can get your hands on. Bye.